1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
One only has to count the number of bombshells on the playground here to get an idea of how abnormal a normal day in school is. 3 in this section, 1 on the basketball court, 2 near the entrance, and 1 around the corner. That's 7 bombshells in a place where kids are supposed to have a fun break from class.
I stood in the middle of Sederot looking at the Katyusha rockets that were exploding every day. Does the world care that Jewish kids run into bomb shelters every 20 minutes? No, they never care about what happens to the Jews.
Oh, wow. My heart is still racing. First time in my life I've heard a rocket, heard the Sederot Dome. I mean, like that. I can't do that. I don't know how you could do this for months on end.
Eight-year-old Osher Twito, who lost a leg in a Qassam rocket attack in Sderot last Saturday, woke up Thursday and is communicating with his family and medical staff. Despite suffering a partial amputation of one of his legs, doctors say they're optimistic about saving his other leg.
I was born in Lebanon and I was raised in Lebanon during the war. My 9/11 happened to me in Lebanon in 1975 when Palestinians and Islamists blew up my home, bombed my home, bringing it down, burying me under the rubble, wounded. I ended up in a hospital for 2.5 months and later ended up living in a bomb shelter underground for 7 years, from the age of 10 till the age of 17. I come from the town of Marjayoun in the security zone, and I used to go to Israel in and out all the time through the Gadera Tova. My mother was wounded and was treated in Safad Hospital in Israel during the Milchamat Galil in 1982 when Israel went into Lebanon. And those days, I spent 22 days in Isfat, and those days really changed my life. It made me realize what an amazing country Israel is, what an amazing people the Jews are. Actually, I ended up being born in Lebanon, being taught that Israel is the enemy, to moving to Israel and living in Israel and actually burying my parents in Israel. Radicals killing children, like what they did in Israel, kidnapping 3 teenagers and killing them. Where is the outcry of the world? I mean, we understand fighting soldier to soldier, but when you start killing civilians and doing it in the name of your religion, because we see that most terrorists always use verses from the Quran as to justify why they did their horrible acts of murder.
כן, אבל הם יגידו שישראל הורגת ילדים גם כן, ושזה קורה לא אחת, כפי שראינו אפילו היום.
Israel only reacts when Israel is provoked. I can tell you my experience. When I was in Lebanon and the Palestinians surrounded our town to take us, to bomb us before Israel liberated us, the Palestinians used to put their cannons and their artillery in front of our bomb shelter. The Palestinians would launch rockets at Israel, fully knowing that Israel is going to retaliate, and when Israel retaliates, children are going to die. My mother almost died fighting with a Palestinian leader, begging him to move his cannon, explaining to him that we were 9 children in a bomb shelter and they would not move it. He wanted to shoot her. So this is what we are dealing with, and this is the message that we need to get to the world. And I'm speaking from experience as an Arab child who was trapped in a bomb shelter in Lebanon, where the Palestinians used me as a pawn in order to shell Israel, and then knowing that my images, if I die, will be all over the world.
In the deeply religious West Bank settlement of Itamar, over the weekend, terrorists broke into the home of an Israeli family, Ruth and Udi Fogel. This happened on Friday. It was a night of bloodshed that Charles Manson couldn't have imagined. It is worth stopping for a moment and recognizing that the mother and father of 6 were butchered to death, along with 3 of their 6 children. 2 boys aged 11 and 3, and a 3-month infant girl. I have the photos of the murder scene. I can't show them to you on television, but I have 2 small children. What kind of monster can butcher an infant, a small child? According to the reports, the terrorists broke through the Fogels' window. They didn't notice a 6-year-old boy who was asleep on the couch, went right to the bedroom where they slashed the throats of Dad and his newborn baby girl. Ruth, his wife, was stabbed at the entrance of their bathroom. Evidence looks like she tried to fight the terrorist. She lost. The killers then went on to slash the throat of the 11-year-old son, who was reading in bed. Thank God they didn't notice the 2-year-old asleep in his bed. But they went on to butcher the 3-year-old. 2 stabs right in the heart. Pictures that I can't show you on television. It is horrific what they did. But if you think that's bad, now let me show you the pictures that I can show you on television. The reaction of the Gaza residents. I find this even more disturbing. After terrorists slaughtered a family, innocent babies, they passed out candies. One resident said the joy was natural, quote, a natural response to the harm settlers inflict on the Palestinian residents in the West Bank. The same people that danced in the streets to celebrate the deaths of 3,000 Americans on 9/11.
If your capabilities are so advanced, why are you killing civilians?
No, Hamas is killing its own civilians. When you have missile launchers hidden within schools, within homes, I myself was a commando fighter and I saw that a missile launcher is in the living room of a home, then you're in effect killing your own children. Hamas is clearly responsible for the very unfortunate deaths of any Arab citizens in Gaza. I'll remind you that 9 years ago, Israel left the Gaza Strip and handed it over to the Palestinians. They promised it would turn into the Singapore of the Middle East, and instead it turned into hell of the Middle East. We will not tolerate a terror state right under our nose. We're going to fight and we're going to win. We're not in love with going to war, but if necessary, we'll use all means, and all options are on the table. If Hamas continues to shoot missiles from within Palestinian homes, within schools, from within hospitals, do you know that they have production facilities under hospitals in such a cowardly fashion? Well, we're going to use all our might to fight back and get the terrorists and eradicate terrorism.
You know, there's no secret that your views are extreme within Israeli society. You sit on the far right of the political spectrum. Indeed, you were heckled yesterday at a peace conference in Tel Aviv. You say yourself that you were punched on the way out. People say you're inciting Israeli hatred. Do you accept that your views are very divisive?
I think millions of Israelis accept my views, and the good news about Israel, unlike the Gaza Strip, and unlike Syria, and unlike many other authoritarian regimes, is we're a democracy. People can heckle me. That's what a democracy is about. I'm proud to be in a country where, as a minister in the government, I can be heckled and nothing bad will happen to those demonstrators. That's what a beautiful democracy is about. and I wish other countries in this region would adopt such a liberal democracy.
My message out, at least to the Israeli people and the Jewish people, to understand that they do have friends in the Arabic world. They do have friends outside working so hard.
As an American citizen, I salute the Israeli Defense Forces and send you guys a message. Even though the USA is currently being governed by the most incompetent, low moral pack of weasels ever, millions of Americans stand firmly behind Israel. You guys have been an inspiration to the entire world with your magnanimous attempts to live in peace. Hamas will do their best to make it look like the IDF kills children and innocent people. And the scumbag American media will join the propaganda of the Muslim murderers. But we, the people of the USA, don't believe it for a moment, and know that millions of Americans are cheering for Israel and the IDF.
שמע קולנו, לקבל תפילתנו, בריתך זכור, ואל תשכחנו, ברך את לחמנו ואת מימנו, גלה כבוד מלכותך עלינו. זוכרנו בזיכרון טוב מלפניך, מלא משאלות ליבנו לטובה לעבודתך, צווה איתנו ברכותיך, צווה לנו ישועותיך. אבינו ששוועתנו, תן שלום בינינו, תן שלווה בארמונותינו, תן שלום בארץ. La 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 la, ay ay ay, la la la.